name is Kathy Dawson, and I wrote the foundational essay for Live in Community. I thought I would introduce myself through some of my own communities that support me in my work and in my life. So I'll start off with a community that we all share, although in different ways, and that's my family and friends who are spread out all over the country and throughout the world as well. So I think it speaks to community does not necessarily have to be local. And then I also have the community of my work, my vocation community, and that's Columbia Theological Seminary, where I serve as the Benton Family Associate Professor of Christian Education. And I've been there since 2004 and was a student before that. And so I know that this institution really values community for faculty, staff, and students. And then finally, my faith community is Oakhurst Presbyterian Church, a very diverse, multicultural, multi-ethnic community of believers who gather each Sunday here in Decatur, Georgia. And we spend a lot of time maintaining and growing our community by learning through our differences with each other how to be community. Can't have community until you gather people together. And so this first division is called Gathered Together Across Difference, because we are all different human beings, and sometimes those differences get in our way as far as forming community. But if we look for some of those things that unite us, it's easier to gather. And so I think of in that regard of the first community, biblical community that I mentioned, and that is the Israelites in the Exodus. They started out as a family community, much as I talked about in my introduction, but as their community grew into various tribes and stuff, they kind of dispersed in their time there in Egypt. In the hardships of slavery. What united them then as a community was the event of the Exodus and the gathering of these people to move to a different land that God had chosen for them. So there was in their case, there was a particular event that gathered the community. That may not be the case in all communities, but we often think of particular events within the life of our communities that tend to gather people together. Whether that's a joyful event like a new baby in the congregation, or whether it's a time of leave taking in a funeral service. We are gathering for various reasons as community.